The absconding rape convict Bitti Mohanty is finally in custody after a 7-year-long manhunt. Now, the key conspirators who helped the rape convict to evade justice and the law for 7 long years are yet to be made accountable. Bitti Mohanty's father, former Odisha DGP BB Mohanty, who allegedly played a key role in his son's jumping of parole and subsequent free run, has finally been traced. BB Mohanty was reportedly missing from his Cuttack house after the news of Bitti's arrest flashed in the media yesterday. But our cameras have found that he was actually holed up inside his house to evade the media. Bitti not only jumped parole, he later managed to do an MBA course and land a prime job at a public sector bank. Bitti had been on the run since November 2006 after jumping parole while serving a 7-year jail term for raping a German student. He was found at Parayangadi in Kannur district of Kerala, where he was working as an assistant manager in the local State Bank of Travancore branch. Sources have now revealed an intricate tale of deceit employed by Bitti to evade law enforcing agencies from nabbing him. Police has revealed how Bitti furnished fake certificates and mark sheets to undertake an MBA course and subsequently get the job. Bitti's escapades, though shocking, are nothing new. There are enough cases of powerful people in the country who have used their influence to evade the law. Let me go across quickly to Praveen Kumar, who joins us on the phone line. Praveen, what have you been able to ascertain about how Bitti managed to stay underground for all these years?
Rukmini, definitely there has been help from all sides because his family was backing him up. And also we have to see the police, the interrogation is on, the investigation is on to see whether any outside people also have helped him to stay underground within a fake identity. In fact, Bitti's bank account statements which police had a look into when he was a student, it had clearly shown that he was getting financial help from someone. Regularly money was deposited in his account. And when he got the job also, he used the identity of one Mr. Raghav Rajan. And in fact, the police have found out that given address, there is exactly a Raghav Rajan living there, but that person is not there now. When police went to search of him, he was not there.
Right.
So we have to see whether this Raghav Rajan had helped Bitti to really forge documents in his name. And
all right, Praveen, I'm a little short on time. Let me quickly get in Manogya Loiwal, who's also with us. Manogya, Bitti Mohanty's father was alleged to have helped in making his son escape, but the fact is that nothing has been done about that. He has not been questioned and he is still not being held accountable for his possible role in this entire matter.
Well, Rukmini, that's the biggest question on why he has not been questioned till now, why he had not been taken into custody for further investigation and interrogation, and whether if he knew anything about it. Because if he was living under fake identity, there must be some help that was being provided from the family. In case that was happening, why wasn't it conveyed to the police? Why wasn't the investigation held?
Right.
Despite being a police officer, why did he hide vital information in this case?
All right, a lot of unanswered questions there, Manogya Loiwal and Praveen Kumar. Thank you very much for tracking all the latest in the story and getting us up to speed on all the details. Let's talk a little bit more about why the law and order system in this country seems to bend when it comes to the rich and powerful and influential. To talk some more about that, joining us in our Noida studio, Neelam Katara, social activist. Also joining us is T.R. Kakkar, the former police commissioner of Delhi. He joins us live from Delhi. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. Mrs. Katara, can I first come to you? You have suffered a personal tragedy and loss, and you have been up against this extremely formidable law and order justice system in this country. Why do you think that the rich and powerful still are able to influence their way around these issues?
Because they are rich and powerful. That's exactly the reason why they do it. I mean, in this case, I've seen your reporter asking BB Mohanty questions. I think you need to ask the Odisha Chief Minister certain questions, because the DG works directly under him, and we know how the state police, in fact, we are trying to get the police out of the clutches of the chief ministers of the states, but because they manipulate them. But here the chief minister could have very clearly brought pressure to bear upon Mr. Mohanty and asked him to produce his son, because nobody was buying the excuse that I don't know where my son is and maybe he's dead kind of thing. So therefore it is the politicians and sometimes the senior police who connive against each other. Of course, the honest policemen always suffer. The honest police officers don't get these plum postings, just as you should, SP.S. Rathore Exactly what happened was not have been possible without the connivance of the various chief ministers.
Right. Let me, in fact, also get in Mr. Kakkar. Mr. Kakkar, why do you think that there was absolutely no accountability when it comes to this case? The fact that the DGP has been accused of helping his son escape, but there was nothing, no investigation. He's been walking free. Why do you think it is so?
And now that the son has been caught, he is a proclaimed offender. And I am very certain, because he has not only forged documents, he has used those forged documents for profit, he is also into a conspiracy, and the conspiracy definitely the family is involved. I cannot believe that the parents did not know where the son was and what he was doing. Now the question is, why the BB Mohanty has not been questioned so far and all. Of course, the Rajasthan police gave up the chase perhaps under some influence. There is no denier. Otherwise, they could have continued to put pressure on the father and the family so that the whereabouts could have been known earlier. There must have been some pressure from some quarters, and they gave up the chase, as we call it. It is only by accident that he is once again been found and arrested. Rich and powerful people have been able to evade the law and the action on that. There is no denying in this country.
But Mr. Kakkar, don't you think that the police force also needs to be held accountable, because it is one of their own who is alleged to have helped this convict escape when he was on parole, despite the fact that a fast-track court convicted him within 15 days?
You are very right. Your question is, which police force are you talking? The offence took place in Rajasthan.
The Odisha police force was working very closely, sir, with Rajasthan police force.
It was from the jail in Rajasthan that he went on parole and did not go back. The question is, it was the Rajasthan police force which should have continued to pursue without giving up the chase. They perhaps abdicated their responsibility somewhere at some stage, and probably thought, all right, now that he's gone, whenever he's caught by somebody, we'll take action. Now, that line definitely must have been taken by them, and that is why the whole he was able to evade the law for practically 6 years. I don't know what went into Mr. Mohanty. After all, this was for 7 years. He could have by now almost finished his sentence in a year or so, and thereafter, could have taken up his life once again. If not in a government job, he could have gone into some business somewhere. And Mohanty knew the law very well, the DGP. Why did he assist him? Why did he not tell the police?
In fact, that is a good question. I'd like to pose it.
He cannot evade responsibility.
That's true, and I'd like to pose that to Mrs. Katara. The fact is that people who are upholders of law often are found at the wrong side of the law in our country. And in this particular case, we do know that Bitti Mohanty wove an intricate web of deceit and lies. There were fake documents, forged documents. He was living under a false identity. He managed to come up with all that. Clearly, he couldn't have done that without having help from the highest places of power.
Definitely help from his father, help from the Rajasthan police. And what's frightening is that there is no central intelligence agency within India to track someone like this. So that, I mean, it could have been a high level criminal, and he could also have taken a false identity and done terrible things. I mean, and the other thing I think why they were so audacious, because asking for taking up a government job when you know that there is going to be a police inquiry, I mean, that is just blatant defiance of law. This happens because they were very sure. I mean, I know that the chief witness in my case was sitting in the UK. The father was a sitting MP of the Rajya Sabha, and I was the only one who was left to pursue it for 3 years, spend a lot of my hard-earned money, because they're so sure that the police is not going to pursue, the system is not going to pursue. I mean, if I had not pursued it, I would have never got that person. So they're very sure that here the girl has gone abroad and she's a foreign national. Obviously, she can't work through the ropes and the maze which is the Indian legal and police system. So we're very sure that nobody is going to follow it up, and we are fine. And that explains why they were so confident that he could live through life with a government job.
Right. Mr. Kakkar, do incidents like this really shake the confidence of people in the law and order system, in the police system? We have seen several cases in the recent past where people have raised questions about the role of the police in society. What do you think needs to be done for the police force to restore its faith in people?
Very difficult question. Let's not close our eyes to what is the situation in this country. The rich and powerful people have often evaded the law. They have often evaded action under the law. There is no denying, but it is not a case in all, it is not a situation in all the cases. Now the question is about police. Why doesn't the police pursue? Because some pressure is exerted on the police, and the police works either under the political masters or under their own superiors, and the poor SHO or the people below him, howsoever the uncorruptible they may be, they still come under pressure, like the senior officers come under pressure of the political masters.
All right, Mr. Kakkar, you are endorsing, in fact, what Neelam Katara just said, that it is not just the police force, but also the Chief Minister of Odisha who should be asked questions and held accountable for the fact that there was no action taken against Bitti Mohanty's father, no accountability there. Thank you very much, Neelam Katara and Mr. Kakkar, for joining us on our show today.